Many men and women over 60 convince themselves that starting to forget things is completely normal. They walk into a room and can't remember why. They search for the name of a loved one and it's on the tip of their tongue, but they can't pronounce it. They struggle to follow a conversation, finish a sentence, or recall a detail that once seemed to come easily to them. And so they resign themselves, thinking it's simply advancing age. But let me tell you clearly, it doesn't have to be this way. I've been providing cognitive neurorehabilitation to adults and seniors for over 30 years, and every day I hear the same words. Doctor, I've been feeling slower lately. I'm having trouble expressing my thoughts. I often forget what I was about to say. Yet, I assure you, memory, clarity, and attention can be reawakened even in old age. The brain, like a muscle, simply needs to be stimulated in the right way. Let me ask you something before we begin. Write a motivational quote in the comments as a personal commitment. Every day I train my mind consistently. It's a simple yet powerful way to get started on the right foot. And if you really want to improve your concentration and slow cognitive decline, I invite you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell, because this is just the beginning of a journey that can truly change the quality of your mental life. Now, let me explain a fundamental principle. Memory loss doesn't happen suddenly. You don't wake up one day unable to remember names, appointments, or to-dos. It's a slow, silent, and often overlooked process. It begins with small signs, with seemingly innocuous forgetfulness. Then they become more frequent, and only then do you realize something's wrong. But by that point, you've often already lost precious time. As we age, some areas of the brain begin to sleep. Blood flow decreases. The cerebellum, responsible for our balance and coordination, becomes less active. The hippocampus, the nerve center of memory, slows down. It's like a plant that slowly stops being watered. It doesn't wither immediately, but weakens day by day. The good news is that, just as a flower can bloom again with the right care, the brain can be reactivated with simple daily actions. And here's where a little routine comes in. A sequence of specific movements designed to stimulate the brain areas involved in memory, attention, balance, and language. No equipment, physical effort, or special skills are required. All you need is a chair, a minute of your time, and the desire to nurture your mind. Exercise 1. Conscious movement of the toes. It might seem odd to start with the feet when talking about memory, but science teaches us that everything in our body is connected. The toes, in particular, are directly connected to the cerebellum, which not only regulates balance but also influences concentration and mental agility. Stimulating this area can trigger a positive chain reaction in the nervous system. I remember well the case of Mr. Romano, 75, a retired railroad worker who arrived in my office with an unsteady gait and a clouded look in his eyes. He walked as if his body no longer responded to his mind's commands. It wasn't a muscular issue. His legs were strong. The problem was his connection. I suggested a very simple exercise. Every morning, sitting in his favorite chair, he had to lift his toes for 5 seconds, then lower them and press hard on the floor for another 5. Immediately afterward, he massaged the floor with his toes for 10 seconds, and finally he opened and closed his toes for another 10 seconds. Total? 30 seconds. Repeated twice. 1 minute. 15 days later, he returned and said to me, sounding surprised, "Doctor, I walk straighter now. I feel more centered and as if my head is less foggy." It wasn't suggestion, it was brain activation. A study conducted at Osaka University in Japan showed that practicing this movement for 3 consecutive weeks significantly improved balance, movement confidence, and memory performance in people over 65. It's a simple technique that you can do anywhere, even while watching television. Yet its effects are profound. Sometimes awakening the mind begins where you least expect it, on the floor beneath your feet. Exercise 2, slow neck rotations. The second exercise addresses an often overlooked but essential aspect: blood circulation to the brain. Many people suffer from mental fog, mental fatigue, and difficulty paying attention, not because of illness, but because blood flow to the brain is impeded. And the critical point is often the neck. Our neck is a veritable bridge between the heart and the brain. If this bridge is stiff, contracted, or limited in mobility, perhaps due to posture or a sedentary lifestyle, the passage of oxygen and nutrients becomes more difficult. It's like bending a hose. The flow slows down. For this reason, correct neck movement is essential. The protocol I propose is simple and should be done slowly. Sitting with your back supported and your shoulders relaxed, gently rotate your head to the right as far as you feel comfortable. Hold there for a second, then return to center. Repeat on the left, then look up as if to observe the sky for a few seconds. Finally, lower your head, bringing your chin towards your chest. This all takes about 30 seconds. Do it mindfully, breathing slowly, and repeat it twice. Just 2 minutes a day is enough to significantly improve mental awareness, clarity, and ease of thought. Many patients have told me they immediately felt a sense of well-being. Their minds cleared. Their thoughts flowed more easily. It's not magic, but physiology. When the brain receives more blood, it functions better. The secret is to repeat this gesture every day. Exercise 3, tongue stimulation. If there's one exercise that surprised many of my patients, it's this one. Because the tongue, which we normally associate only with taste or language, is actually one of the most sensitive and connected areas of our body. Every movement activates deep areas of the cerebral cortex, improving articulation, verbal memory, and rapid thinking. The correct sequence is this. Sitting with your mouth slightly open, stick your tongue out as far as you can and hold it there for a few seconds. Then move it to the right and hold the position. Then to the left. Now press your tongue against the roof of your mouth for a few seconds. Finally, rotate it inside your mouth clockwise and then counterclockwise. It seems like a game, but it has a remarkable impact on communication, thought expression, and verbal memory. Many people that they remember words more but in my clinical work, I've seen tangible effects even in patients with advanced language The ears. Exercise 4. Ear massage to activate the brainstem. We know that our ears are used for hearing, of course, but few people know that inside our auricle lies one of the most important systems for balance, orientation, and mental alertness. The vestibular system, directly connected to the brainstem, is a crucial link between the body and the mind. When this area is understimulated, symptoms such as dizziness, disorientation, difficulty coordinating, and, surprisingly, even mental confusion can appear. Fortunately, reactivating this part of the brain is as simple as it is effective. The exercise involves sitting comfortably, grasping both ears with your hands, and beginning a series of gentle movements. Pull your ears up and hold for a few seconds. Then towards the sides. Finally down. Finish with circular movements, as if we were drawing small circles around the auricles. This gesture, performed slowly and carefully, has an immediate impact. Many report a slight warmth in the area, a feeling of relaxation in the face, and greater clarity in the mind, even after the first few days. The effectiveness of this simple massage is not only based on clinical experience, but has also been confirmed by international research. Studies have shown that regularly stimulating the ears improves vestibular function, contributes to physical stability, and helps prevent falls, which are very common in old age. I'm reminded of the case of Lydia, 78, a former kindergarten teacher who complained of frequent dizziness, mental fatigue, and disorientation in shopping malls. After just 2 weeks of exercise, she reported not only feeling more stable, but also being able to read a book without losing her train of thought. When the brainstem is properly stimulated, the entire body benefits. And now let's move on to the exercise that combines everything we've seen so far into a single sequence. Exercise 5, the complete 1-minute routine. At this point, some might be thinking, this is all interesting, but how can I remember all these movements every day? The answer is simple. You can combine all 5 exercises into a single, fluid sequence lasting exactly 1 minute. And it's precisely this combination that enhances the effects of each movement, like an orchestra playing in unison. When we activate different areas of the brain simultaneously, the connections between them strengthen. Memory improves, mental clarity increases, and coordination becomes more precise. The result is a more alert, more present brain, better able to face daily challenges. A practical example is the routine of Ms. Carmela, 80, a former seamstress who arrived at the clinic with slow movements, mild aphasia, and diffuse tremors. I suggested she perform this integrated sequence every morning. Sitting, she wiggled her toes up and down while slowly rotating her neck from side to side. Then he opened and closed his toes while raising and lowering his head. Immediately after, he extended his tongue while slightly pulling his ears upwards. Then he moved his tongue from right to left while pulling his ears to the sides. Then he pressed his tongue against the roof of his mouth while pulling his ears down. Finally, he rolled his tongue inside his mouth while gently massaging the auricles. At first, Carmela was wary, but after 3 weeks, she came back to me, her face lit up. "Doctor, I managed to remember my mother's meatball recipe, which I hadn't made in 40 years. I dreamed it one night, and in the morning it was there, perfect in my head." It wasn't magic. It was her brain finally working harmoniously again. But it doesn't end there. To get the most out of these exercises, there are 3 little secrets that can further enhance your results. Simple tricks, within everyone's reach, but which can make a big difference. 3 secrets to enhance the effects of your routine. The first secret is hydration. Drinking a glass of water before starting the sequence is essential. The brain is 80% water, and every neurological process requires a good level of hydration. When we're well hydrated, synapses function better, blood flows more efficiently, and the nervous system responds more promptly. A single glass can make the difference between a gentle workout and profound activation. The second secret is breathing. Inhaling deeply through your nose and exhaling slowly through your mouth while performing the movements stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, which regulates relaxation and concentration. This type of breathing calms the mind, reduces anxiety, and increases oxygenation of the brain. It's like opening a window in a closed room. The fresh air changes everything. The third secret is music. Performing your routine accompanied by relaxing music, such as nature sounds, classical guitar, or piano, can increase motivation and stimulate the areas of the brain associated with pleasure, memory, and creativity. Choose music that makes you feel good and transform that minute into a personal, regenerating moment. And just as there are tricks that enhance, there are also 3 mistakes to avoid so as not to nullify your efforts. 3 mistakes to absolutely avoid. First mistake, doing the exercises too quickly. The brain needs calm and attention. If you rush through them as if they were a chore, you drastically reduce their effectiveness. Every gesture must be performed slowly and consciously. Second mistake, pushing the body too hard. If a movement causes discomfort or pain, it should be stopped immediately. The goal is not physical performance, but neurological stimulation. Listen to your body. Each exercise must be performed within your limits. Third mistake, being inconsistent. Sticking to a routine just once in a while isn't enough. The brain loves repetition. Only with daily practice, even if it's just a minute, can you build new, lasting synaptic connections. 3. Now that you know the complete sequence, the secrets to making it more effective, and the pitfalls to avoid, you're ready to make this simple routine an integral part of your daily life. Just 1 minute a day can become your most powerful ally against mental decline, confusion, and mind-body disconnection. And I want you to know something very important. You're never too old to start. It doesn't matter if you're 60, 70, 80, or even older. Your brain is still there, ready to respond, ready to reignite. You just need to give it the right spark. You don't need expensive drugs, sophisticated equipment, or impossible exercises. You just have to want it. You just have to believe in it, and do that small thing every day. Ultimately, if you've read this far, it's because deep down you know your mind deserves attention. And I assure you, even the smallest improvements will be noticeable. You'll notice it in the way you approach your day, in the clarity of your thoughts, in the poise with which you walk. But others will notice it too, in your more alert gaze, in the more confident tone of your voice, in the serenity with which you move through the world. And if, after a week, you feel a little better, don't stop. Keep going. Because the brain loves repetition. Every day it builds new connections, strengthens existing ones, and reawakens areas that had long stopped functioning at full capacity. It's like giving new life to a tree. The leaves turn green, the branches straighten, the plant blossoms again. I'd also like to point out that there's no right or wrong way to start. If you don't remember the entire sequence at first, that's okay. If you can only do 3 out of 5 exercises, that's fine too. If one day you're tired and can only move your feet or massage your ears, that's fine too. Every stimulus counts. Every minute of attention to your mind is an investment that will reward you with clarity, memory, and vitality. Remember that you are not alone. There are thousands of people like you, men and women who every day face the fear of forgetting, the frustration of not finding the words, the mental fatigue that creeps in like a fog. And all these people with a small daily gesture are already rediscovering the pleasure of feeling mentally alive. And for this very reason, I invite you to share this routine with anyone who needs it. A family member, a friend, a neighbor who often complains about their memory or who always seems distracted. Send them this content. Give them a moment of hope. Because we all ultimately deserve to age with dignity and a clear mind. I also want to ask you something important. In 3 weeks, when you've started practicing these exercises every day, come back to this video and tell me in the comments how it went. Tell me what changed, even if it seems like a small thing. Your testimony can inspire someone else experiencing the same difficulties as you. Because you see, this journey isn't just about exercises. It's about taking control of your life, about regaining trust in your mind, about feeling present, clear-headed, stable. And to do that, you don't need miracles, just a minute a day, a minute of attention, of listening to your body, of respect for yourself. Don't underestimate the power you hold in your hands. Even a small gesture, repeated consistently, can spark a revolution. A silent but profound revolution, capable of changing the way you think, speak, walk, and even dream. And before we conclude this journey together, I want to leave you with a final, direct, and sincere message. Don't give up on your mental clarity. The time you dedicate to your mind is never wasted. It's precious time. It's self-love. It's a declaration of strength. And if this content was helpful to you, please reciprocate with a simple gesture, like subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss out on other useful tips for your brain health. And if you want to support our work in a concrete way, you can also do so with the Super Thank You button below. Every contribution helps us produce increasingly useful, clear, and accessible content for everyone. If you have a question, want to share your improvement, or even just leave a thought, the comments are open. I read everything and am always happy to respond, because everyone deserves attention, a listening ear, and guidance. Thanks for following me to the end. Don't forget, your brain is ageless. It just needs to be reawakened.